welcome to the morning roast.
Yo, we on the morning roast. Get a cup, sit down, stay a while.
Good morning! First things first, this is going to be a morning roast. I'm starting this series every Sunday in your pajamas, your robe, wherever you are, whatever your morning roast is, tea, coffee, honey, hot water, lemon, whatever it is. We have some chatting, some behind the scenes gossip, tea. I wouldn't necessarily say it's gossip, but I do want to spill the tea. I know a lot of people have asked me, how did you end up on Rhony? And I will tell you the entire story as well as show you some behind the scenes footage. Let's chat for a few minutes on Sunday and start a beautiful day. So how did I end up on Rhony? That is a good question. Before we even get into that, let me tell you this story. I got like one of those spiritual readings. I know some people don't believe in them or like them or think it's like some sort of sorcery, but randomly someone reached out to me and was like, can I do this reading? And I was like, yeah, sure, no big deal. So I saw this woman and it was via Zoom and she was giving me this reading. Now this was back in 2020, I think we were like just hitting the pandemic around that time. And I remember, we were chatting about all things. And of course, I always want to know about my career, right? What's the longevity of my career? What's next? I always want to know what's next. There's only but so much manifesting. I think we're all a little bit curious about, what's next to come. So, she starts to talk to me and she's like, I keep seeing a contract in your future. And I'm like, huh? I always sign contracts. Like that's part of my job. It's like I do campaigns, I sign contracts. I was like, can you elaborate a little bit further? She's like, no, I see a contract for television. I see you on the screen. I don't know what that looks like. She's just like, I just see someone giving you a contract and offering you a job to be on television. And I was like, oh, okay, all right, fine. She was like, I suggest that you go with it and it's just a different chapter in your life. And she was like, and you can make it something good. So sign the contract and proceed. Didn't think anything of it, right? We take it for a grain of salt and you're like, okay, great. Maybe a few months later, I got a contract, but the contract was to be on Amazon Live. And it was during the pandemic. I would always do these Amazon Lives every Friday and sell all these things. I felt like I was on QVC. So in my mind, this is what I thought she was talking about. I was like, oh, okay, I guess if this is what she meant by TV, fine. So I did that for a while, and I have to be honest, it was a great learning curve for me because I really learned how to speak on live television and actually sell products. So it was a really great chapter. It was hard though. It was hard. Imagine talking to yourself. Well, I'm talking to myself right now. Imagine talking to yourself for like an hour straight, no breaks, there's no host, and you're talking about products. I was selling notebooks, pencils, desk chairs, you name it. So anyway, fast forward, could have been 2021 or 2022. I got a DM. It was a casting agency or their direct casting, and they said that they were casting for Rhony. They're looking for women who live this inspirational lifestyle, and would I be interested? And I'm like, no. Why on earth would I want to be on Rhony, right? Because in my mind, the first thing that I thought about was the women who were on the show before me. I didn't know that they were doing like a complete reboot, right? I thought they were just adding to that show, and I'm like, I think that we probably would not be friends in real life just for the simple fact like I'm a content creator. So, compared to what the other women on the show, like we just live two different lifestyles, so it wouldn't be a genuine friendship or connection. I was just like, and then I also thought it was kind of a scam. I was like, are you scamming me right now? So for shits and giggles, I decided I'm gonna write back. And they were like, okay, let's jump on a few emails. We talked on the phone, and I somehow ended up on Zoom calls. So you have to basically audition. I don't think that's a secret. I think maybe Kyle Richards has said something about it. Don't quote me. But you kind of audition. They ask you questions in Zooms, and you come to these Zooms, like, you know, the lighting needs to be good, your makeup is done, and it's just a fun way to get to know your personality, your lifestyle, and all the things. That was my first Zoom. And then I remember at that time, I was like, I'm really uncomfortable with sharing my husband because he's just not a part of my social media, and he's never been part of my social media, and he's just a very private person, so I wanted to respect that. They weren't having it. They were like, he's part of your life, we want to show your lifestyle in its entirety, and, you know, just kind of get a feel for who you are and your kids and where you live and just my entire lifestyle. Fast forward, David is doing something behind the camera, and he thinks he's so funny. It's like being married to a high schooler. Okay, so where was I before I got interrupted? What was I saying? Bring me back. All right, so anyway, I did these Zooms, and then it goes from, I think several people have to look at them and decide on, you know, who's what. And they ask you about your friend group, and they interview your friends and any of your friends who would possibly be interested. The thing about it is, it's scary because you give up control. And as someone who curates content for a living, I'm in control of the story that I want to tell you, right? For most of you who have been around and following my journey for the last 10 years of me creating content, you know who I am for the most part. I am a very transparent, honest person. But if I was on television, you could be capturing moments that I would not normally post, right? I'm not a very vulnerable person on social media. I don't open up my camera and cry. It's just not for me. So when I had these vulnerable moments on Rhony, it was really, really hard to capture because I'm just not, it's just like that part of my life. It's something so personal that now I'm opening it up to the world. So that was, it took some getting used to with that. But anyway, I digressed. So after they see your videos, they go to the head of network, and then they want you to come in for interviews. Oh, by the way, I ended up saying I wanted to proceed with doing all of this because I found out that they were doing a reboot. And I thought the reboot would be really cool. Rhony is such a staple show. It's New York, you know, I'm a diehard New Yorker. I thought that it would be really amazing to be part of something that is new for Bravo, because they've never did a total clean slate in a Rhony. I mean, in a Housewives franchise. So the fact that they're starting over with a brand new cast, I was like, why not? Let's see how it goes. What's the worst that could happen? Then I end up being a villain. Okay, so anyways, I think the last one I was supposed to come into the network and meet everyone for kind of like a last meeting for a yes or a no. But girl, I was in Italy, and I'm like, I'm sorry, I'm not gonna push my trip. I'm going to Tuscany for a friend's wedding, and I had to Zoom in. I could not connect to the Zoom for 20 minutes. So I had everyone in this boardroom waiting on me, and finally I connected, and I had these weird Tuscany curtains in the background, and I was like, I'm so sorry. And it opens up, and it's all these people sitting in a conference room, and I was like, I'm really sorry, guys. There's not great service here, right? And then who walks in? Andy walks in, was like, we're waiting for you. I was like, I'm really sorry. But that was kind of like my last interview. And then I got a call, and they were like, we would love for you to join the show. And I was like, okay, this is amazing. And this was the start of something new. So that is how I got on Rhony. I think my experience has been nothing short of amazing. Last season, I didn't have a really great season. I felt like a lot of the audience didn't really understand my sense of humor, my wit, my dry humor, or also I was starving. Okay, I just, like, I know I talked about this a lot, but I was really hungry. And I think I was not used to the schedules. Like, the schedules are pretty grueling for 3.5 months that you're filming, you know? And I'm also trying to juggle another job. I think that is what makes us so different from other franchises, is that majority of the women on the show do have a job. So we're trying to kind of balance a job while also taking that time out to say, hey, I'm going on a trip with my friends, or I have to take a break from doing this so I can go and hang out with Jenna or Uber or anything like that. So I think it was just trying to kind of maneuver my day to day, and everyone else was kind of doing the same. But I think that they are super accommodating. People think that we just can bring cameras wherever we go, but you don't realize that we have to have clearance to get into certain places. Like, certain places don't want us to film there, so I can't just pop into the hottest restaurant and be like with a crew of 20 and like, hi, we're all here to start filming. It's very disruptive to a business. So 9 times out of 10, if we're going somewhere, it's kind of planned, you know, planned on what place we're going to, where we're going to eat, etc., just because we need clearance for everyone. But it is really hard to transition from what I'm doing, which is content creation. It's different, again, because I curate what I want you to see. Even though I am still genuinely myself, I'm still curating the things that I want you guys to see. To now, all of a sudden, I have opened up my life to the world to see. So the people who don't know me, the people who don't follow me and understand my personality or my background or where I come from, you know, it was automatically scrutiny. You know, I remember this one girl, she sent me a DM and she was so nasty. She was talking to me like I'm a piece of shit. And she was saying all these terrible things, and I responded to her. I said, I'm a human being. I can read it. And she responded and said, well, you're a public figure, so you can suck it and take it. I said, at what point do we think, because my job is camera facing, this is my job, it is camera facing, that I am no longer a human being and I don't have feelings and I should just allow someone to treat me less than? But I realized the woman was crazy, so I did want to curse her out. You have no idea how many people I want to curse out, and I am like, I have been doing the work. I have been doing the work. We have got to stay focused, because some people make me want to just throw all the work away. God knows I have a terrible mouth, and I can be very, maybe I should come out every now and then. Sometimes you just want to tell people F you know what I mean? Okay, anyway, so that's how I got on Rhony. Drama is completely real. I mean, this season was insane, right? We're kind of like finding our footing here and trying to figure out exactly what it is that the audience wants to see, because right now we're all just being ourselves, most of us. I think this season was a little bit intense once it got to Puerto Rico. It was to the point that I didn't know what to do with my facial expressions, guys. I was all over the place. I was so uncomfortable at times, like that prank. Oh God, I know everybody can't stand the prank, and I know we're all rolling our eyes, but that prank, I didn't know anything about it. I was so uncomfortable. I was like, why are we talking about this girl's marriage? Why are we talking about who she's sleeping with? Oh my gosh, she's pregnant by another man. My mind was so blown. I was like, this is terrible. But I was pranked just like everybody else. So it was really ridiculous. But this is my new journey, and I've learned a lot. I've learned so much. This is how I look at experiences, right? This is not something that I would have normally have done, but I'm so grateful for the opportunity to be on Rhony. I absolutely love the network. I love our production company. They have been nothing but great to me, even with me having a really rough season last year. Between Ussie, I was okay with it. Like, I get it. People didn't understand me. People called me a villain or whatever. I didn't think that about myself. And I do have tough skin, so people are gonna come in and say all kinds of things, but I know who I am. I'm a very loyal friend. Yes, I'm honest to a fault sometimes, but you're never gonna catch me lying. If I do talk shit about you, I'm gonna probably come back and tell it to your face. And I would have no problems with you calling me out. Like, I take accountability at the end of the day, and I don't think everyone else does. So last year, when I sat back and I looked, and I'm like, okay, I understand why people didn't get me. And if you're not a New Yorker, you don't understand the humor, the little bit of a hardness, and being impatient with people, also being starving. Hangry is a real symptom. But I kind of took a step back and realized, like, okay, even though the message is correct, my delivery was really wrong last year. And I was like, I need to fix that. And I didn't come back this season changing who I am as a person. Instead, I just changed the delivery. I took a beat when someone was talking to me. For example, that conversation with Bryn in the Hamptons was the most frustrating conversation I've ever dealt with.
Hi, I guess we are having our talk.
Everyone is like, talk. But I just want us to be friends, and I want this to go very quickly. I don't want you to feel upset at me for any way that I have hurt you. I just want to be like, can I say that I'm all the ways that I've hurt you, and truly to God, and I think you've expressed them to me and whatnot. I'm really sorry. I don't want to hurt you.
I really appreciate your apology, but I feel like you never even heard my side. So again, we're like kind of brushing my feelings underneath the rug. You never even heard me talk to you. I was furious at your party. I really appreciate that you invited me there, but Jenna told me that you told her that I hate her. And I'm like, what were your intentions?
Okay. Jenna? Yeah? Can you come here for a second? Ooh. That was like a teacher calling you to come to the principal's office. Yes? Yeah. Teacher. Hi, Jenna Benna. Question.
Hi.
At her party, I said, Jenna, who told you I hate you?
I didn't specifically call out Bryn.
You said this girl.
I didn't specifically call out Bryn.
Yes, you did, Jenna.
Why do you hate me?
I never said that. Who told you that?
It was this one over here.
Jenna, you said this girl.
Listen, the number of people who have given me feedback and said to me that you've said things about me.
I understand that, and she was one of them.
I'm not saying she wasn't one of them, but I certainly didn't highlight her or call her out. And if I did, I don't remember that, but I really...
You did. Bitch! Listen, what can you do with an old lady who can't remember anything? What am I gonna do? Beat her up until she remembers something? I just gotta let it go. So, I'm not the problem. You are the problem, Bryn. You are the problem.
Okay, wait, time out. Did I say Sai doesn't like you, Sai hates you, or any derivative of that?
Just that she has talked about me. Which you know is, that's been said to me so many times, so that's not...
Exactly. When you told me on multiple occasions, Sai's talking about me, people in my circle saying Sai's talking about me, Sai hates me. After like...
Then you added in.
You're gonna make this about, so I love that you can jump over the fact that we're gonna not do that. Everyone in her life has said you talk. I love how we're jumping over the fact that she's talking about her to everyone, and she's like, you were the 71st person who
No,
told her?
let's not.
Why are you?
Let's
Why?
not.
How so rude,
What you're trying to say is you didn't say that.
Conversation, you're being so rude.
It's so crazy to me. It's illogical.
Guys, this is going in.
It's irrational.
Bryn and Sai have some like core wound stuff they need to heal. It doesn't matter whether I said you told me or Aaron told me. It's actually not the point. The fact of the matter is Sai said it. It got around. Great. Like, who cares?
You're the one who said it.
I didn't say it, dude, for the 100th time. I didn't say it. Believe me, if you told me you hated Jenna, I would have been like, Jenna, guess what? Sai said it. We were accosted to Rhony, and she said it. I love to stir the pot. Trust me, I would have told her.
Bryn.
I would have told her. I didn't say it.
Great, thank you.
I didn't say it.
I really appreciate the conversation.
I never told her that.
If she's saying she didn't say it, at least give her that moment.
Thank you.
Fine.
Great.
Yeah,
And you're forgiven for screaming at me because of something you
I'm
thought
forgiven.
I
I
did.
didn't ask for forgiveness.
Oh, Lord
I don't
knows you
regret.
did.
I don't regret
guys,
any of it.
stop. This
Oh,
is
we
getting
know
I don't
you
regret
don't.
one
We know
word of
you
it.
don't regret anything.
This is not it.
We're great, Aaron.
You're not listening to what happened and what made me feel this way. All you want to do is stick a pacifier in my mouth, tell me we're cool, and then have fun with me. That's toxic, and I'm good.
Her condescending tone is very frustrating, so I'm gonna walk away.
It took everything inside of me not to just start screaming, because that's just how I communicate. I grew up in Brooklyn. We scream and point fingers, and that's just who I am as a person. Like, that's just the way I was raised. I talk with my hands, I get passionate. Maybe it's a cultural thing, but I'm gonna yell, right? So for me, I was just like, don't throw away the work that you're doing. Just take a minute and realize I wasn't gonna win that one, no matter what I would have done or said, which is why I ended up having to be the bigger person and just walk away. But now we're ending up on the second season. If someone asked me, if you knew then what you knew now, would you do it again? And my answer is yes, just because this experience, big or bad, high or low, has been great. Like, I look at every experience, even if it's a failure, as a learning experience. Like, what did you learn from it, and what's your takeaway? I have some serious takeaways from Rhony, and also getting to know different personalities and fostering friendships at a later age. So yeah, I think my experience has been really good. But nevertheless, guess what? Our morning roast is done. I am a chatty Cathy, and I love to talk. I hope you like this series. I'm gonna let it stick around for a little bit. Let's see what happens. If you don't like it, I'll get rid of it, girl. No big deal. But if you have any questions or topics that you would like me to cover in our next Sunday's morning roast, please let me know. Let's keep it chill. Put the PJs on, put the robes on. Again, pull up a cup of coffee. Am I making you nervous? Because everything is white in here. If you're new here, definitely please stick around. Subscribe to this channel. I feel like I really want to be here in 2025. Let's grow as much as possible. Hype this video up, and I will see you guys next week. Thank you. Bye.